Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Believe in Bingo podcast right here on Bally Sports, Ohio. I'm Solomon Wilcots, and joining me right now is Hall of Famer and, of course, Super Bowl champion LeRoy Butler. Played 12 seasons with the Green Bay Packers, four-time All-Pro, and a member of the All-Decade team of the 1990s. LeRoy, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing very well, my brother. It's a pleasure to be on your show. It's a true honor.
Well, it's an honor to have you. And as you already know, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Green Bay Packers, they have a combined scrimmage, combined practice. Is going to lead to their first preseason game coming up this weekend. So I got to have you weigh in on this because hey, when you played, it was like when we played, you would have these sessions between two teams. I got to get how you roll with this. Fights or no fights?
And you're brilliant. That's the first thing I said. I don't want to see any fights.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys have been fighting in camp amongst each other, and they've been getting hurt.
Yeah.
Messing with your money.
That's right.
Your money. So my thing is, I love joint practices, but full disclosure, the head coach is Mike Sherman's son-in-law. Mike Sherman's one of my favorite coaches.
That's right.
So we like his growth, what he's done. We like he's still a young guy. He was able to regulate and surface all the Joe Mixon stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, when they went for Jamar Chase, if Joe Burrow want him, I want him. Everything that Zach has come, he has got the ownership to understand we got to get to a Super Bowl.
That's right.
So the reason why this is so important, Solomon, to be honest with you, this is a huge platform for Jordan Love.
Yes.
So at some point during the practice, find out where Joe Burrow is. Because Joe Burrow, to me, just my opinion, is the coolest guy since Joe Namath.
Go ahead.
Nothing bothers him.
That's right.
Nothing.
That's right.
Negative, positive, and the kid has been going through a horrific knee injury, and and one of the few guys has a winning record against Patrick Mahomes. So Jordan Love, go talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And just how do you handle the spotlight? And I bet you Burrow will say, "What spotlight?" I always had the spotlight when I was at LSU, but so I'm glad this is the team that this is the first one and platform that Jordan Love can get experience. Yeah.
No, it's a very good point. And you mentioned it. Mike Sherman, former head coach with the Green Bay Packers, is the father-in-law of Cincinnati Bengals head coach Zach Taylor. Zach married Coach Sherman's daughter, of course, a lovely young lady. And these two teams are connected in another way as well. Matt LaFleur and Zach Taylor both coached in LA for the Rams under Sean McVay. So those kind of relationships, I think, pays huge dividends as two teams look to come together and get some good work in. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. How do you think this week of preparation benefits both teams? I heard you talk about Jordan Love spending time with Joe Burrow. I love that connection. But how might the relationships benefit both teams by the time we get to the first preseason game?
Well, I'll say this, Jair Alexander, you're going to enjoy him.
Yeah.
That's my nephew now. So he's going to go over to Jamar Chase, and he's going to say, "I got you all practice." And because they're not going to play in the game, let's be honest.
That's right. The first team won't play.
That's why, see, Matt LaFleur is one of my favorite coaches, solid, because he's very approachable.
Yes, he is.
He understands. They played the Jets, I think, last year in the past, and they're going to go to New England in a couple of weeks or next week. You learn from AFC teams because you don't see them very much.
That's right.
The way they practice, do they run the ball a lot? Do they spread a lot? It's just the learning process of. That's why you don't really see teams practice with teams that they're going to play in the NFC or the AFC. It's best to go outside the division and kind of learn. This is a Super Bowl team.
That's right. That's right.
You learn their mannerism, are they on time for meetings, what kind of music they play in practice, what do they eat, what's their diet, and do they love each other?
That's right.
One thing I used to look at, Solomon, I think I played the Saints and a few other teams. I said, I want to see how these guys get along, because I love my teammates.
That's right.
If I see a team don't love their teammates, I see a little crack there I could take advantage of if we ever play them again.
That's right. They're not going to go very far, are they?
No, they're not.
That's a good point. Good point. Think about this. You had, a very interesting place in NFL history. Obviously, you're part of a great organization with the Green Bay Packers. We know what they mean to this league. They mean everything in terms of the history of our league. But you got a chance to play with the great Brett Favre. You've got a chance to see and cover Aaron Rodgers. That's 30 years of Hall of Fame play at the quarterback position for the Green Bay Packers from 1992 to 2022. So kind of talk to us about just what have you seen from these two quarterbacks, and do you see it from any of the quarterbacks that you're watching? I know you talked about Joe Burrow and how much you love him, but you know what the pedigree looks like for great quarterback play. Where else are you seeing that around our league?
Well, I'll tell you this, Solomon, back in 1990, my first quarterback, who's a star, was Don Majkowski.
I remember him.
And Infante was the coach in 1990, so we weren't very good. We were like 6-10 or 4-12 the first couple of years. It wasn't my fault, though.
That's right.
So, I'm thinking in my head, you got to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Thinking, Ron Wolf comes in real quick. He goes to Bob Hartley, our president. I need to make this trade. Bob said, who do you want? I want Brett Favre. He was third string down in Atlanta.
Down in Atlanta, that's right.
And I love Bob Hartley for this. He's the GOAT to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do it, I got your back. If it goes bad, I got your back. Yeah. But if it goes good, we may get the Nobel Peace Prize.
That's right.
For 30 years.
30 years, man.
Brett comes in, and I think it changed his life. We get Reggie White.
Yeah.
We got a team meeting, no coaches, just team meeting. And Reggie gets up and says, look, guys, I know y'all look at me as the leader, but the leader's Brett. Brett was in the back of the room chilling. That's our leader. Brett comes up. Because Brett's not a rah-rah guy. He just wants to play.
That's right. That's right.
That did so much for our team. Because not because it was Steve Young, who's one of my best friends, Troy Aikman, who's a great guy. All these quarterbacks, Warren Moon, all these guys was getting there to face of the franchise. Our face of the franchise was Reggie White. And Reggie realized that. Rest in peace, Reggie. That was brilliant. Brett when he gets that call, we take off. Mid-90s, 3 teams dominated: San Francisco, Dallas, and Green Bay.
That's right.
So now you keep moving through the eras, and then 2007 championship game, Mike McCarthy comes in, things don't go that great. They drafted Aaron Rodgers. Aaron's sitting there like for 3 years, like, man, every year this guy waffles, man. I'm ready to play. Every year, man, it was getting on his nerves, but he was very professional. The one time Brett said, I think I may retire. Ted Thompson, rest in peace. I'm sick of this. Give the keys to Aaron Rodgers.
Let's go.
Mike McCarthy's like, you think they vice versa. Ted said to Mike, allegedly, you think the kid's ready? McCarthy says, I'll get him ready. You give him the keys. Once you give a 16-year-old kid the keys to your car, you can't take them back, Solomon.
You ain't getting it back. You're not getting it back. You're not getting it back.
Yeah, you gave me the keys. Yes, but your sister has to go to the prom first. She got to get a limo. I'm driving your car. It took off.
Yeah.
And then Aaron, MVPs, McCarthy has ran his course real quick. Super Bowl 45 and everything. Then I view Aaron Rodgers, you're thinking, okay, there's 2 things I learned not to do from Brett Favre. Throw interceptions.
That's right.
And don't waffle if you want to play or not.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Did the same thing.
Aaron Rodgers did the same thing. Now here's Jordan Love, right?
Yes, now Jordan Love coming, and they're like, Matt Guda, Gutekunst, our general manager.
Yeah.
He's the same way like Ted Thompson's like, well, okay, we're gonna pay you, but let's show commitment. The other 53 guys are.
That's right. Great point.
They let him do it because I love the organization. Full disclosure, they put me on the board of directors last week, Solomon.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
So I'm speaking for myself, not for them.
I got you. Not as a board member. Not as a board member.
Two things can be true, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you can have great parents and have a dime piece wife. Two things can be true.
That's right. That's right. I love that example.
So Jordan Love comes in and he's thinking, I've seen all this history, as we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
How do I fit in? So he waited 3 years. So this year it's on him. Now the fan base, last 10 seconds, the fan base have seen what me and you've seen. So they're they got an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because they really want Jordan to work.
Yeah.
If you can hit again, odds are you probably won't.
Yeah, that's right. That's
hit
right.
Again, it's quarterback university. So, and I want Matt LaFleur to do like Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan said, I don't care who play quarterback. I don't care who play running back. I'm going to kick your tail.
That's right. That's right.
All Jordan got to do is run the system, do this coach tell him,
and he'll flourish.
The game.
Mm-hmm.
He'll win.
If there was something that Jordan Love can learn this week while practicing against the Bengals and watching Joe Burrow and talking with him, maybe they have lunch, maybe they go get some Skyline chili in Cincinnati, right? If there was something that he can take away from Joe Burrow in his game, because you and I are defensive players, man. For us to admire a quarterback, he got to be a dude, right? He's got to be a dude.
Exactly.
And what would that takeaway be if he can learn something from Joe Burrow?
Great question. That's a great question. He spent time with Peyton Manning. Last week. Okay. And I talked to Peyton at the Hall of Fame. And man, Peyton was just kind of saying, this is what Peyton gave him, and I'm gonna tell you what I would give him, what he would take away from it. Peyton said, let them know how you want to be coached. You want to be coached hard, or you want to kind of be left alone. Some guys like to be, left alone. I mean, Jim Kelly was a machine. You just
let him go. Let him go.
So some guys, you got to get out their way if you're a coach. So you know how some of these coaches, they micromanage. Sometimes
that's right.
Just
let them go.
Let them go. And when you need help, I'm here.
That's right. That's right.
What the first thing I would ask if I'm Jordan Love, I would say and take away, how do you handle the negativity as a quarterback when you throw an interception, when you lose a Super Bowl, when you get injured? How do you handle that? And Joe will give a great answer because it'll be his demeanor. And when he takes that back, because he's going to throw interceptions.
That's right.
He may even get booed at home.
It happens. It happens.
Right? I mean, that's Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Who's a great guy.
That's right.
He was supposed to be the guy. And then you go to Arizona and you're like, well, why couldn't I just stay in Cincinnati for like 15 years? It happens. So you got to find out a young quarterback. He talked to an older guy, and that was Peyton.
That's right. That's right.
Come on down to the young swag. How do you deal with this? Because at some point, he's going to spend time with Patrick Mahomes and all these other quarterbacks. They always do. But this week, go somewhere, just you and him, and just tell me about how you deal with it. Because don't nothing bother Joe.
That's right.
Nothing. And I admire that.
Yeah. He's got a toughness about him that you have to admire. And a really good thing, Jordan Love and Joe Burrow drafted in the same draft class in 2020. So there's a lot of things that they have in common. They would have been together at the scouting combine and gone through that process together. So there is some familiarity. Think about this. Both teams, Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals, have, I think, very special running back. They were also drafted in the same draft class, LeRoy. Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones were taken in 2017. Yeah. And both guys had to take pay cuts to stay on their current team. So help me to understand what's happened to our league. Why are these two running backs, despite being two of the best in the league, having to take pay cuts just to stay in a good situation?
That's another good one, because that's my other nephew. We're really tight. I love his mom.
Yeah.
Everything he stands. He's just a great kid. And he has a running back with him, A.J. Dillon, that he loves to share with. He likes
That's right. That's
fire
right.
and ice. He loves that. But we were going on a cruise last year at the top of the year, and he went back to redo his deal. And I know people say guys take pay cuts, but to a guy that understands the history of a team that took a chance on me, like Cincinnati did to Joe Mixon.
Yep, you're right.
It's easy to take a pay cut.
That's right.
Because the Brown family didn't take a chance when I had a little baggage. Although the baggage could have been Louis Vuitton, it's still baggage.
That's right.
Baggage, right?
It can be dressed up nicely, but it's still baggage.
It's still baggage.
That's right.
Aaron Jones thinking, I went a little bit late. I've earned my right to be one of the top.
That's right.
I'm always play in this system who wants to run. Matt LaFleur wants to run the ball.
Yeah.
Both guys understand that if you play well and you're healthy, you're gonna get paid. That's one thing I learned about Tom Brady, I'll never forget. Tom Brady was never #1 overall paid.
Never.
But Solomon, he made the most money.
That's right. That's right.
Restructures, move money around. Tom Brady to go on and off the field.
Yes, he is.
That's what I tell these guys. You ain't got, that's the ego to be the #1 guy and all that, because the next year another #1 guy. But did you give me $5 more million up front and spread it out a year?
I'll take that.
Yeah. Did you guarantee my $10 million salary? Give me 5 today.
Right now.
All my kids are asking me, Dad, can I get that cash app? I'm like, wait. It ain't hit yet, son. Wait.
It's going through.
Yeah, it's pending.
That's right. It's pending.
I did it 3 times in a row when I was with the Packers to stay with the best fan base. I took 3 pay cuts and restructured. I played for one team. And I told Aaron Jones, until they say they don't want you no more, you stay with this team. They will pay you. Gutekunst will pay him.
But it's coming.
Yeah, it's a difference between a check and direct deposit.
That's exactly. I love it. I love it.
It's a day or two. I can wait because I know it's coming.
It's coming.
And the running back phase, Solomon, it'll pass over. It'll pass. It'll come back around. It will.
Yeah. You made a really good point, and I think people should take note. Tom Brady was never the highest paid quarterback. Oh. Michael Jordan was never the highest paid NBA player.
No,
but some, hey, look, they've done okay.
They've done okay. That's what Patrick Mahomes said. Man, I got plenty of money, man.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. One last question before we get you out of here, LeRoy. I gotta ask you this: Hard Knocks with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are set to debut this week. So, will the show be highly rated in Green Bay, or will they not be interested? Your thoughts?
Well, again, 2 things can be true. People like to see a dumpster fire or an accident on the highway for whatever reason.
That's right.
Go on there, slow down and look. And they look for whatever reason. They don't know if it's their nephew, but they just look. Then some people just keep going mind their business. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. Because, again, 2 things can be true. You can love Aaron Rodgers. You just don't like the way he exited. You love Brett Favre. You don't like the way he exited.
Yeah.
But I will say this. This fan base, they're educated enough to know that you can support him at the same time watching him in a Jordan Love jersey.
That's right.
Jordan Love jersey on, but I'm gonna watch Aaron because listen, me personally, I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
Because it'll be good for the culture.
It's a legacy thing, right?
Yeah. But there's something inside of me, Solomon, saying, boy, if this thing blow up, I'm gonna love it.
You're like, both things can be true, right?
Yes. Brought to you by nobody.
I'm rooting for them, but if it go bad, I'm still eating my popcorn.
Yes. I'm gonna get some leaf bark and be like, man, I told you.
That's great. That's great. LeRoy, you are the best, man. It's always good seeing you. When I run into you and your lovely wife, you're such a class act. Keep up the great work. You represent the organization at the very highest level, and we appreciate you. Hall of Fame man with Hall of Fame class. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Solomon. Anytime, my brother. Love
all the best.
We look up to you. We look up to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. We'll be back with more. You're watching the Believe in Bengal podcast on Bally Sports Ohio.